Good morning, noon, or evening, everyone. So, I guess you figured out by the title, because you've clicked on the video, this is one to say what not to ask blind people. Now, this is half inspired by Molly Burke and half inspired by BuzzFeed. Yeah. So, a bit of a disclaimer at the beginning, I'm not speaking for all blind people. Everyone's experience is different, and there may be a few thing that I bring up in this video that's like, oh, I haven't experienced it. But it could affect some other people that, it's not like, don't say it, they will get offended, inevitably. Some of these questions could be considered rude or are relatively difficult for a blind person to answer. Yeah. Maybe think about the wording of your questions, and if you're just generally curious, just say, like, look, don't take this the wrong way, but I can't think of another way to ask this. But, for example, let's get into the video, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. So, the list is on my laptop right now. That is how I'm writing my notes for my videos, is on my laptop, and I'm filming on my laptop. So, when I'm reading the questions, it might get a bit awkward, and for those of you who want to know how I manage with technology, perhaps leave a like or leave a comment, and I'll be sure to make that video. Okay, so the first one I get a lot from new people, or people who haven't met before, taxi drivers, and it's, what can you say? Or can you say something? Can you say anything? But the main one is, what can you say? And I'm like, well, Mr. and Mrs. Person, you're a person. I say that, and usually I'm in the taxi, so I'm like, there's a tree, there's a car next to us. I mean, I could statistically answer with numbers, but people don't really, unless they've had like vision problems or know someone with vision problems, they probably just know 20/20 vision is that perfect vision. Yeah, I don't even know my eye ring. It's just poofed. And I don't know what the quality of my eye is. I think one's 660. As in, someone can say something from 60 somethings away, and it would need to be 6 for me. Yeah. It's just something that's really difficult to answer, and especially with my color blindness, people are like, oh, well, what colors can you say? And I'm like, I can't tell the difference between blue and green, but I can say that blue and I can say that green. I can tell that this is green and this is blue, but I can't see green and blue. But like, I get reds and browns mixed up, but that's definitely red. And it just gets very complicated, and it's very difficult to answer. So maybe you could be like, oh, can you say that? Like, directly, like, can you say that something over there? And then the blind person could go, oh, I can see it, but I didn't know it was that, which happens a lot. Okay, so next question is, what's it like? What's it like being blind? I don't know. What's it like being fully sighted? For me personally, like, there's some other people, they might know what it's like to be able to see, and I'm like, I don't know. I've lived with it all my life. I see what I see, basically. It's hospital appointments happen, but then again, I've got a genetic disorder, so that could also be why I have appointments. Visual aids are annoying. When my talk and watch goes off in class, and that's really embarrassing, but I assume that's also like if your phone goes off in class, that could also be embarrassing. So, I don't know. Mm. Oh, this one's a great one that I got asked not too long ago, actually. Did you know a lot of blind people do drugs and drink? And I'm like, oh, well, thanks. Where's the nearest liquor store? Like, that's the stereotype for, like, blind people. It's just, no. It sounds very accusing when someone says, did you know the majority of people who like you do drugs? I'm like, for one, that's very stereotypical and very accusatory, especially since I am 19. Um, I get that they've got the best intentions in mind, and this one actually links to a later one that I'll mention, later. But just don't put the stereotypes on blind people that they are lazy and that they do drugs and drink because they can't do anything else with their lives. Which leads us on to, oh, so do you have someone that does everything for you? And I'm like, I've got my support at uni. I've got my note taker at uni. I've got my mum. I literally can't be alone, or else I'm a danger to myself. But yeah, I love being independent, and I actually got very high praise on my independence in school. So that's why I get really annoyed when, like, oh, so you've got someone with you all the time, like, you can't do anything for yourself. And I'm like, no, I can go bathroom myself. I can bathe myself, mostly. I can't shave on my arms. I can't shave because I don't know how to use a razor. I'll learn. There's plenty of time to learn. I can't cut food because I physically can't cut. So I use fork and sometimes spoon. Very rarely spoon. Um, but yeah, other than that, I am quite an independent person. Like, I could probably do washing if I was stuck and had to. But I don't know the buttons on my washing machine because we got a new washing machine, so I haven't learned how to do it yet. It's just like, as you're growing up, you don't instinctively know how to do things. Like, you're not going to be dumb in a house one day just not knowing how to turn a washing machine on. You learn. And whether you need someone with you or not, having that independence is, even little things, is really good for someone. Like, even if you can walk downstairs, that's great. Um, okay, I'm sure that if not every blind person has had this, a lot of blind people have had this. Like, how many fingers am I holding it? Like, right in your face, like here. The majority of the time, you can tell by the size of the hand, like, how many fingers am I holding up? Like, for example, that is very different to that. I'm assuming that you can see this because I remember that my face is in frame. So if I'm doing it in front of my face, like, that is a lot different to that. I know it wouldn't necessarily be touching your face on that, but dude, how many fingers am I holding up? Huh? And then they're like, how many fingers am I holding up? And then that's just really mean. Like, don't do it. It's stereotypical and childish. And then they're like, when you get the answer right, you're like, huh, so you can see. Huh, it's sussed you out. And I'm trying not to move much because then it'll move the camera. But yeah, you're not blind. You can tell how many fingers I'm holding up. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't read. I can't tell what colour your eyes are. You could have 3 eyes for all I know, and I couldn't be able to tell. I don't know what I would do if I was blind. What I'm doing? Maybe you'd have a guide dog. Maybe you'd have like white rails up the path, and maybe you'd get a lot more irritated at sighted people. Okay, I phrased that wrong. Maybe you would get a bit more frustrated at the government. Maybe you would get frustrated walking up the stairs when you can't see the stairs because someone hasn't painted them. Or maybe you get irritated because you would trip over the loose pavements or fall over people or things like that. I don't know. Maybe you would get irritated when people ask you really stupid questions. Oh, that's a cute dog, which I can totally see is working right now. Can I pet it? Or, isn't that animal abuse? I'm like, isn't keeping a dog in the house animal abuse? Because it's naturally a wild thing. Isn't like taming a wild animal abuse? Oh yeah, no, they've been trained to live in the house, and they've been trained to help me walk around. It's not like they don't go out for walks like your animal does. It's not like they don't get fed like your animal does. It's not like they don't get water or rest like your animal does. Our dog just helps us a lot more. A lot more friendly. They help us a lot. They can go in a lot more places than your dog. I bet you wish that your dog could go into shops and restaurants and school. Mr. and Mrs. Peasant. There's no one there, but, I'm imagining that there's someone there. You hit a lot of people with your cane. I'm about to hit one more person with my cane. My cane likes to hit me sometimes, and I'm pretty sure it hurts a heck of a lot more if it hits me than it hits you. Because if I hit you, it's because I don't see you. Or you're walking too slow in front of me and I've accidentally hit you. Or you've tripped over my cane and that was totally your fault because it is a big white cane and you're not looking where you're going. Because I don't see how it's hard to see, because the whole point of it being a white cane is that people can see it. And for the idea of me hitting myself with my own cane, yeah, I've hit myself a few times in the face, mainly in the gut, because if I am doing this with my cane in a bit of pavement, hits a cane, it goes directly there. Well, there if I'm being lazy. But yes, I have hit a lot of people with my cane, and a lot of people have tripped over. Okay, so one that doesn't irritate me so much, but I could definitely see how it could irritate some other blind people is, how did you become blind? For me, it's fine. It's genetic. I don't have a problem talking about it. But for some people who became blind because of accidents or stuff like that, that could be a really sensitive topic for some people. So perhaps be very cautious if you if you ask, how did you become blind? Or have you always been blind? Have you always been blind is always a better step towards how did you become blind? Because I feel like a lot of people at birth, they know nothing else other than blindness. Whereas other people who have had sight, they've had that taken away from them, which is a lot more of a sensitive topic. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but yeah. Okay, one that I have had, and that links to, did you know people who are blind take drugs and drink and get addicted to stuff, is you're a hero. Like, wow, you're a hero to other blind people. Like, you're doing YouTube, you're doing TikTok, you're getting degree? Am I getting a degree? You're going to uni, you're doing school, you're doing poetry, like, you're a hero. I'm not. I'm a person. uh, I'm not from Krypton, or radioactive spiders, or anything like that. Like, I'm not a superhero or a hero. I'm just a person that wants to help people by putting my life on the internet, or by entertaining, or stuff like that. Like, I'm an insignificant little being, and if I help someone, then great. But I'm just normal, so I mean, I do get very flattered when I get compliments like that, but I'm no. That also links to I have this blind friend. I know this blind person that yeah graduated like from Harvard or something like that, or like they're a scientist or a teacher. Like, oh yeah, that's great. I mean, it's very useful for like if you're in the middle of a conversation. Like, I have this really nice taxi driver, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a teacher. And then she's like, oh, I know this blind teacher. And then I was like, oh, does she have support? And that's just a general nice conversation. But when you're like, oh, I know this blind person that did this, and this, and you're just there like, oh, yeah, feeling a little bit shittier about yourself. That you're not doing that, and that the other person's doing because you don't know their situation or anything. There are loads of blind people that are successful. Um, that I'm sorry, I keep hearing a noise and it keeps going straight through my head, distracting me. Like when my friend had a baby, she sent me Molly Burke's video on when she babysat, and then she was like, "Oh, I saw this and I thought of you." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not looking after your kid. Sorry. That would be disastrous for both me and your darling son. He's adorable. Because I know that you subscribe to my channel. Grayson's adorable. I know I've seen you like once or twice since he was born, but yeah, he's adorable. Um, but yeah, I'm not looking after your kid. Do you wish you weren't blind? Again, to some people, that would be a bit of a sensitive topic if they had sight. Like, yeah, I would love to go back and be able to see again. Or some people that really value the world of little details and stuff. If I'm honest, this is kind of like a Q&A, isn't it? Because I am answering these. I don't wish I wasn't blind. I wish I was a bit less blind. I wish I could see people's facial expressions. I don't mind not being able to read. Even though I love books. I would love to be able to read my collection of books. But I've got audiobooks, and I'm saving up for a big magnifier that I really want to get, so I can read all my other books. But yeah, depending on the person, this could be a very sensitive topic. Wow, you must have loads of blind friends. Like, no, I don't. I'm friends with one other person that is blind. Well, two other people that are blind. And I know quite a few blind people, but we haven't talked in years. I know of different blind people because of great organizations such as Useful Vision when I was a child, and I used to go to blind theatre groups, which I absolutely loved. I really wanted adults theatre group for the blind. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm the only registered blind person in my friend group. I mean, one of my friends is short-sighted. One of my friends is long-sighted, I'm pretty sure. Another one of my friends wears glasses. I mean, they all wear glasses. Apart from one of them that needs to start wearing the glasses a lot more often. See me, I'm not embarrassed to wear my glasses. Because I've got to wear them all the time. And I grew up wearing them. So, yeah, I don't know a lot of blind people, but people just assume that we're like the blind squad and we all fight evil together. Whereas in reality, there are a few places that are fantastic, like getting blind people together and sharing experiences. But that's not the case for every blind person, and I don't know what it's like in other countries. But yeah, that was just a few things that can either be really hard to answer or just can be taken the wrong way. There may be a part 2 to this. You guys, if you have any other ideas or things that I didn't mention, comment down below. If you've got any questions for me for a Q&A, please comment down below because I really want to do a Q&A. It can be on anything whatsoever. It doesn't need to be about my blindness. I mean, could be. It doesn't have to be. So, subscribe if you liked this video. I believe that is where my subscribe button is. Check out one of my other videos if you don't mind. If you enjoyed this, you can check that out here. It will probably be my About Being Blind video, because I just remembered that I did that. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later.